Well, hey everybody, welcome to Active Self-Protection Extra. On today's video, something I'm not doing on the channel very much because both Neil and Chris are doing this and doing a phenomenal job of it, in my opinion. But today I am prepping for one of my live fire classes at the ASP National Conference, and in particular this one on using a small circle to become a much better shooter. So today I'm going to give you a tip that I'm going to work with our students on using my dry fire pistol, because I was just doing some prep work with my dry fire pistol, thought I would bring you in on it and maybe give you a tip you can use at home.
Lucky Gunner is my recommended trusted provider of Freedom Seeds for range or defensive use. In stock, good prices, and rocket fast shipping are why I go back again and again. Because of new guidelines, I can't link their site or say it, but you're smart and you can find it with a simple Google search. Stick it to the man by paying them a visit today.
So I know you'll forgive me. Rather than use a lapel mic on this one, this Shure mic is much better. So I'm going to try to use it. We'll see if it works. I think it should, but we'll find out, right? In terms of me sitting here, if I was standing up and doing stuff, we'd have to do other stuff, but you figure it out. Also, again, Chris and Neil are doing a great job of teaching the handgun skills here on the channel, but thought I would chime in with this one because at the ASP National Conference, if you've never been, you gotta join us, guys. It is an incredible weekend full of seminar-style stuff and conference-style different courses going on and after-hours events, all for a good cause. The most pressing need of abused and abandoned foster teens and giving them hope at life. Incredible stuff. And we start everybody on the range. So everybody who shows up, if you're going to do any live fire class at all for the whole weekend, which we have 4 ranges going all weekend long, and then a bunch of classroom classes too, you have to start on the range on Friday just to warm up. Make sure, if you've never been to the conference, we want to make sure that you're safe holstering and unholstering a gun. You can practice the rules of safe firearms handling and just make sure that everybody's on the same sheet in the hymnal, as it were. And I am going to be teaching one of those classes. And so I'm using my dry fire gun here. This is my Robar P30 Lem. You cannot buy one of these. Robar went out of business a few years ago. This was the last custom gun they ever made before they went out of business, in fact. And it's wonderful and I love it. It's my training gun today. It's got around, I think around 65,000 rounds down the pipe at this point. And I know everybody says they shoot that much. I actually do. And you can see I have a barrel block in it. And so it cannot fire. It's being used right now as my dry fire gun. Anyhow, my class is going to be on using a very small target and the ability to hit a very small target at distances that most people think are not possible. They are possible, trust me. And in particular, we are going to use a 2-inch circle, and we are going to walk that 2-inch circle back, and probably about 2/3 of the class by the end of a 3-hour course of instruction with some time and some practice, we'll be able to hit a 2-inch circle at 20 to 25 yards. Now you might say, why is that important, John? Why would you ever need to do that? You know, you're a 2-inch circle, you're talking about an eyeball size, like this is this big. And so why would you need to do that at 25 yards? Well, you might not, but you might need to make a headshot at 25 yards. And if you do, can you? If you can't, if you don't have the skill to do it, then you can't consider it. If you do, then maybe you can consider it. Also, remember, distances scale linearly in target size. So a minute of angle is a minute of angle is a minute of angle. So a 2-inch circle at 25 yards is an 8-inch circle, which would be like a high center chest hit at 100 yards. So if I can hit a 2-inch circle at 25 yards, I can stay in a high center chest zone out to 100. And being able to touch somebody at 100 yards. Now, somebody's going to chime in and say, but John, you can never claim justified use of deadly force at 100 yards. It's not necessarily true, particularly for cops. They stopped folks doing crimes at farther distances than that. The Fairchild Air Force Base and Andy Brown. I loved his book, by the way, Warnings Unheeded. Fantastic book. And Andy Brown took a shot on an active killer at 72 yards with a stock Beretta M9, by the way. And that's pretty baller marksmanship, especially because he's running irons. And so in those kinds of instances might need to be the case. Also, just from a pure shooting skill perspective, if I know I can hit a small target, then when I'm hitting a larger target, I can do so with much more confidence. I can do so with more rapidity. I can do so without having to wait so much. So it's a valuable skill to possess, to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I can hit a small target at a very far distance. Then I can work on speed. We always say get good first and get fast later, though fast is part of being good. So what are we going to do in particular? And I'm going to give you the 5 check-ins that I do. I'm just going to give them to you really briefly. We're explaining those on the range. I'm hoping to actually film the class. And if we do film that class, then it'll be in the ASP Unlimited app. I doubt we'll put any clips of it on YouTube, but it will be in its entirety in the ASP Unlimited app. And so you can see how we do that there. And our philosophy at ASP is we don't do a lot of technique. We do a lot of helping people to arrange their shooting process so that they understand what they're doing, and then let them have experiences and self-coach and self-correct. That's a much deeper way to learn. It takes a little longer. It's a little more difficult. It's much harder from a teaching perspective, but man, is it good. Okay. Anyhow, shut up, John. I thought you were going to teach us how to hit a small target. 5 check-ins. Check in with your body. Check in with your mind. Check in with your hands. Check in with your eyes. Check in with your trigger finger. So I teach these 5 in that order. And the reason that I do that is that when it's time to go to shoot a small target, I have very little margins for success. My margins for success with a small target at long distance get very small. And so when I make small errors, they are amplified at those long distances on small targets. So this is what we do. We check in first with our body and we see, wait a minute, am I okay? First of all, is my body all right? Am I capable of shooting this? Am I hurting? Is that changing my mechanics? You know, I've been rehabbing a left shoulder thing for quite some time, and my lifting for a couple months now, working on it, starting to get better. And is that going to affect me? No, I'm going to be able to shoot okay here, so my body feels okay. Next, check in with my mind. Is my mind a chatterbox? Am I talking mean and ugly and nasty to myself? Or can I quiet my mind and just focus on the task at hand? And do I recognize that I have the skill I need? So we teach an inward process. I am a capable and competent shooter. I have all the skill that I need to possess in order to be successful at this. If I'm mindful and if I take my time, it's like me to have success here. If I focus on the process, it's like me to have success here. And so quieting that inner critic and being willing to focus on the task at hand is why I check in with my mind. Next, I check in with my hands. How does this gun feel in my hand? Do I have the ability to have control of this gun, and can I control it adequately? And also, how much grip pressure do I need on this gun? Now, there's a little thing that we will talk about that I think you'll see in some places that here's a little technical tidbit. We don't give a ton of technical in this class, but here's a little technical bit that the more precise I need a shot to be, the softer I need to grip the gun. Say it again, the more precise I need a shot to be, the softer that I grip the gun. And I get it, man. In defensive shooting, we talk about you grip that pistol like it owes you money, man, like you stole something from you, and because you want to control recoil. And as a general rule, because again, when I'm shooting at defensive distances, great accuracy is not my first priority. Well, then, yeah, I grip that pistol nice and tight, send it out there and really get in on it so that way, when I shoot the gun, then the gun recoils, comes back, and I can reacquire my sights. Of course, I pinned the trigger there. I wouldn't recommend that. But then reset my trigger and go back to work. But in a precise shot, we're talking about Murtaugh, not Riggs. Ooh, if you got that dated pop culture reference, make sure to schedule your colonoscopy. Murtaugh, not Riggs. Lethal Weapon, right? That you're not going to bang, 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 bang. But instead here, you need that one shot to be absolutely effective in the moment. And in that case, when I overgrip the pistol, and I see people try to overgrip the gun in order to get it to stop moving, and what happens is it actually causes it to move more. So again, if I really need a quality, incredible shot, I check in, do I have enough grip pressure to control and to hold it here? And when I start moving the trigger here, is the gun staying still enough, but not over gripping it and making the gun move? And I can really see it in my optic here is what I can do. So which is why the next thing I do is check in with my eyes. So once I've checked in with my hands, then I check in with my eyes and see, okay, I'm seeing over the target, and how is my body, my mind, my hands working on my sighting system, staying where it needs to be in order to get a hit. Now, of course, is this going to be easier with an optic than it is with irons? Yes. Iron sights just are not fundamentally accurate or as refined. Let me be careful there. You can be plenty accurate with irons, but refined in their accuracy. It's on a very small point of aim, like a pistol mounted optic can be. Now I'm running, this is a Holosun 507C. I don't have any relationship with them, but I'm running mine in circle only. So I'm running a 32 minute of angle circle. So you could certainly do similar work with irons. But as you check in with your eyes, then, am I seeing the front sight? Am I seeing the target? Or am I enabling the dot to hover over the target while I maintain target focus? Okay, so once I've got checked in with my body's okay. I'm not limiting myself by my physical attributes. I've checked in with my mind and quieted it to the task at hand and able to focus and pay attention. My hands, I've got enough grip without over gripping here. Now I check in with my eyes. I can see the target. I'm looking through my optic, not at it. I'm looking through it in order to see what I need to see. Now I check in with my trigger finger and I put the pressure on the trigger, and now I cycle back through and at least back up to I'm looking at I'm making sure that I'm still seeing and that I check in with my eyes. Yeah, I'm still staying over my target like I want to. My grip is appropriate, so my gun is not shaking. I'm getting a little movement that I can see. And now I check back in with my finger, adding a little pressure, staying over the target that I want, seeing it there, staying still, adding a little pressure till the gun goes off. And the gun went off exactly over my target. So this is something you can practice in your dry practice. Now you got to be dead honest. You got to be absolutely ruthless in your honesty in order to say, did I get to my target? So I'm actually using right now like a 1-inch paster is what I've got up on my dry fire dojo. I've got a safe direction up there. And again, a barrel blocked gun, so I can't fire anyways. But looking at a little bitty 1-inch paster and saying, okay, am I staying on that 1-inch paster? Okay, I'm checked in. Everything looks good. Hands feel good. Okay, I can see my target. I see it very well. I've got my finger there, feeling the pressure, seeing, pressing, keep seeing it, adding pressure, staying there. Gun went off and stayed rock solid on that particular rep. And man, I'm telling you, if you just train yourself to do that, you can hit even, again, a 32 minute of angle circle. We'll see if we get it on video here next week at the conference. But I've been able to hit a 2-inch circle at 25 yards all day long using a 32 minute of angle circle and do it at the very least 50% of the time. And when it's off just by the tiniest bit. And of course, you know, the ammo and the gun itself all has mechanical accuracy. For the record, my personal best in a Pressburg no-fail pistol class with a 25-yard B8 is a 99 5X in class under the pressure of Chuck Pressburg watching you and going, do you suck? And so I can hit small targets in those ways. And that's how I built that skill. Maybe the 5 check-ins can help you. In particular, if you wanted one technique thing, check the pressure on your hands and make sure that you're not gripping the gun too hard for refined marksmanship. Now, of course, that means that you're able to differentiate between when do I need a very refined, very precise shot and when do I need to grip it and rip it? When do I need to go fast here so that the movement of my front sight or the movement of my optic is what I'm limiting here, and I'm giving up fine control for rapid recoil control, and how much grip do I need to do so? That depends on my hands, my body, that depends on my eyes, and the way that my mind thinks, which is why we check in with all 5. Hope that helps you, maybe gives you something to work on in your dry practice, and hope you have a great day.